you may have heard the governor of Ondo State asking questions about why the Amotekun, that's the Southwest Security Network, is not allowed to bear heavy arms like the AK-47. Recently, Governor Otom also spoke to that. But today we had the Chief of Defense Staff actually saying that no state has the power to procure automatic weapons for its security outfits. And that is like a new twist to this back and forth. So what exactly is going on? You have the security outfits that want to combat these terrorists, bandits, what have you, who have higher firepower. And then you have the federal government telling the governors that, well, you don't have the powers to do that. So let's get some more insight. We're joined by Mr. Dennis Makary on the program tonight. He's a former assistant director at the SSS, joins us virtually this evening. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Makary. Just to get a sense of where the law stands in terms of the security exigencies, the reality on ground. How do we balance this? Because we have the security networks who say they need more firepower, naturally, to combat the firepower from the enemy. And the CDS says, well, no state has that power.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I agree with the CDS because he's correct. Now, let us go back to the instruments that formed these regional security outfits. They were formed basically as an information gathering outfit for the formal security agencies like the police, army, or the DSS. So they are not a fighting force. They are not a fighting force. So when we forget that, we feel that, okay, they are supposed to be protecting. But that is not, that's not why they were formed. They were formed as hunters and farmers who will look and see and inform the security agencies.
So you have a group of people, bandits, terrorists, who have access to these higher firepower. Of course, they didn't get a license from the federal government. They get these firepower willy-nilly. In fact, you've seen images of very, shocking kind of artillery that they have. And then you have the security network, on the other hand, essentially with their pump action, the Dane guns. And the question has always been, is it fair to have a group of people who are operating outside of the states? They have access. But then when you have people that you can regulate, the security networks, why not give them some sort of access and regulate them well? After all, that is said to be to the benefit of the government.
Yeah, you're very correct. But that is not the way we are looking at it from the security point of view. Yes, those bandits and terrorists are carrying guns, and does not mean that you arm everybody so that we start fighting the terrorists. The fight is for the military, the police, and the DSS to fight, not ours as citizens. And besides, carrying an arm, a weapon, especially an automatic weapon, is a very dangerous thing. Many people don't understand that, if you are not trained to carry those arms, you could even kill yourself. I've had situations where even mopols, who are supposed to be escorts to VIPs, have shot themselves or shot the driver who is sitting in front with them. So it is very, very critical. I know that people are worried, the CDS is worried about the proliferation of arms and small weapons. But that does not mean that, everybody should be allowed to carry one. But at the same time, for all the agitations that are coming from all the different regions and stuff like that, of course, that should also advise the CDS that he should also do the needful, whereby when these people are collecting the information, if they are in a situation where they need armed response, he should be ready to supply that response to them.
Well, clearly, we've seen these security networks do more than just gathering information. We've seen them make arrests. We've seen them even rescue kidnapped victims and all of that. And they carry arm. And I mean, with the exigencies of the time, you're well aware of what goes on in those hinterlands, in the forests, where these, security networks are. You wonder, really, clearly they're doing more than information gathering. But let's wind down on this because it looks like this is all moving towards state police. And they say it's an idea that has come to stay. There's nothing anyone can do about it. But the question is, how close are we? So if the federal government is pushing back on this AK-47 issue, do you have a sense that that is the same pushback with state police?
Yeah, I agree with you that there is a kind of pushback from the government angle for state police. I don't know why the fear is there, but there is, an apparent pushback from people in government not to allow state police, especially the legislature, because the legislature is supposed to be the one to adjust that part of the Constitution to allow, state police. We all know the benefits. Even
Right.
the politicians all know the benefits of state police. So we might push back on it at this time, but the time for state police is almost here with us.
Right.
Gradually, it will evolve. So I think we're looking at it.
Well, quite interesting. Right, quite interesting viewpoints. An ongoing conversation. We'd like to thank you so much, Mr. Dennis Makri, former Assistant Director at the SSS, joining us from the United States this, afternoon, your time now. Thank you so much for your time.
Yes. Thank you very much for having me.